Welcome to the monthly review on my channel. I can't believe that we have only 2 months until the next year. So I think that I need to intensify my coloring. October was quite productive. Only during the last week I felt a little bit a lesser amount of desire to color, so I switched to creating cross-stitch ornaments for my Christmas tree. I also tried already to start doing handmade Christmas cards, but I wasn't very successful. I hope that in November I will manage to do it. And in October I did some fall pictures, I did some Halloween pictures, and I want to start from the books by Teresa Goodrich. I used 3 of them in October. In Main Street I managed to do 2 pictures. This one was very traditional because I colored it with Prismacolors. You probably know that it's my favorite medium for the books of Teresa Goodrich. Easy to blend, easy to find color combos for everything, for the wood, for the street, for the pavement, for the walls. So this one was quick and fun. I deliberately selected different color patterns for the ice cream shop with this Barbie pink, and for the elegant hair salon where I used darker colors. Everything else is nothing complicated. A little bit of Posca pen here to make flowers slightly brighter, white pencil to create highlights on the glass surface of the window. So this one was easy. The second one, I don't know why I decided to go and grab my set of Derwent color softs. You know that it's my first set of professional pencils, and in the very beginning I liked them because comparing to the pencils which I had in my childhood, they indeed are 10, 20, 100 times better. But now when I have other sets which are more suitable for my manner of coloring, when I prefer softer pencils which I can blend easier, I don't use my color softs quite often. And I decided that maybe for one page I can use them, especially because color softs, they have nice colors for bricks, for the stones on the walls, all those ochre, terracotta, sanguine, and also a dark wine red. I do love such pencils in color soft range, but to put them on this paper, to layer them, to blend them, well, it was complicated. I think that I would color the same page with Prismacolors or with Arteza even, maybe 2 times quicker comparing to the amount of time I spent with color softs. Another difficulty with color softs is their range of green colors. I absolutely hate this very bright green. I tried to mute it using gray on top of it, blending it with dark colors. And the door, it's not that bad for this antique bookshop. But some of the colors, they are absolute disaster, like these leaves on the first floor. I also did my own mistake in color choice. I think that canopy in one dark red color with maybe thin white stripes would look more interesting, more elegant here, I would say. This one, it looks childish. So it was my wrong choice, and it would be better without these bright green stripes. But it wasn't possible to change when I already did these green stripes first. It was difficult to delete them, so I decided that okay, I will finish it as it is. I think that it will be my last attempt to use color softs here. I already did one page with color softs, I believe here in Home Sweet Home. So I knew that, or maybe in some other page, I have to look, maybe in Country Charm. let me check. Yeah, here I already used color sauce. So I knew that it would be difficult to work with them on this paper. But I think that this one, it was definitely the last attempt. I'd better use more Arteza, or I think that maybe I will try to color something with polychromos on this paper, but color softs, they definitely require paper with more tools. Anyway, I'm glad that I finished this old antique bookshop, and I deliberately tried to use more dark colors, especially here inside of the shop window. And books, they have more muted dark colors. I wanted to show that they are not old, not new but old. And that's the elements which I do like here. Some other elements not so much. But anyway, my main street now has 2 more pictures. While I'm waiting for my new autumn book by Teresa Goodrich, which was somewhere lost in the mail, I decided that I will do something in autumn scenes. And I decided to start from the page, which wasn't very inspiring for me because I was bothered by the contrast in style of this wreath with berries and fruits and the landscape inside. Then I decided that I have to use Derwent inkpens. I hadn't used them for several months, so I missed to use them. And Derwent inkpens, they are perfect for such pictures where we have various golden, orange, yellow, orange brown leaves, and they are very helpful for such pictures. Last year I already did one page with inkpens here, this one, and I love it. So I decided to repeat, and the whole frame around I did with inkpens, but for the inner part I decided that I want to use regular pencils to do a pastel blue sky, to do different shades of yellow green grass. It's easier for me with regular pencils, so a little bit of color, a little bit of Arteza probably. So regular pencils here, Derwent inkpens here. Maybe I will do another page here. For me, pictures like this one, they are more suitable in style for Prismacolors, where I need more light pastel colors, many delicate shades of colors. So here I plan to use Prismacolors. And for the more simplified pictures like this one or this one, Derwent inkpens is a perfect choice. And honestly, when I started to color with inkpens, I realized that because of the lesser amount of practice with these pencils, it felt like I lost all my abilities, all my knowledge about these pencils. I forgot my favorite color combos for the various leaves, so I was frightened a little bit, but then step by step, by testing them again on the paper, I realized that I still can color with them, I still enjoy them, but I definitely need more practice. My favorite page in Teresa Goodrich books, finished in October, was in Home Sweet Home. Here in Kiev we were blessed with a very good October. The weather was quite warm, sunny, a lot of beautiful scenes with all the trees in gold and red colors, so really beautiful and perfect time for spending time outside. November here usually is quite dark and wet, but October was perfect. And nevertheless, I decided to do a rainy landscape here. So I was already in thoughts about a rainy November. Here I have a very cozy atmosphere inside with this cocoa and marshmallow, probably with cinnamon also, a lot of various cookies and pieces of cakes. It was quite interesting to color them. You know that I love to color food. Behind the window we have totally fall scene and we have heavy rain. I tried to mask this sun behind the clouds, so atmosphere is very rainy. Again, everything made with Prismacolors. In the beginning I was thinking about red colors for the tablecloth, but then I decided against it because red tablecloth with white checkers, it's more for Christmas time. I think that I definitely will be using this color combo in my winter and Christmas pictures. So here we have blue tablecloth. I tried to work on all the shading, on all the color reflections and accents here, and of course white paint also was very helpful for the rain and for the not smoke, for the cocoa. And I was surprised that I managed to do 4 pictures by Teresa. In the end of the month I was thinking that I did just 1, but then I checked all my videos and I realized that I did my normal amount of Teresa Goodrich pictures. Next, I decided to relax with my Faber-Castell polychromos and to do another page in this beautiful cottage book. This one with hazelnuts was one of my favorite pictures from the very beginning, and of course I was mostly interested in coloring these hazelnuts and their leaves with couple of shades of polychromos greens, ochre, terracotta, sanguine. I tried to create this impression of the green leaves which are started to turn into yellow and dark red ones. I also used gingerwood Prismacolor where I needed more highlights on the leaves. The only thing where I wasn't very sure in my color choice was the roof of the building. I know that here it's quite similar in color to the mountains behind. I imagine that mountains are covered by the forest already turned into golden and orange colors, and the roof made with gray blue would look much more better, much more contrast. But I realized that my previous roofs in this book and also in Romantic Country I did exactly with this color combo of gray and gray blue. To do another one, probably third or fourth building with the same color combo of the roof, I didn't want it. So even if I don't have strong contrast here and the building is slightly lost, I think that maybe it was deliberately masked among the trees by the owner, so I am not very disappointed with such very limited color palette which I did here. A very good thing for October was that I managed to start some new books. Yes, I still struggle with starting all my new books which are still untouched. Unfortunately, in October I totally lost this game because I started several, but I also received several new books. But at least I tried to struggle and to maintain this promise to start at least 1 or 2 new books each month. And in October I started this Enchanted Seasons book by Natalia van Moer. Book was self-published by Natalia and she very kindly sent it to me for review. I looked at her art style and of course I agreed to make a review of this book because I love Natalia's style, which is slightly similar to the style of Hannah Carson, but it has some individual traits. You also know that I love books which are connected to the various seasons of the year, and here we have Enchanted Seasons. Some pictures are natural and some are indeed connected to winter, to Halloween, to fall, to spring. So the theme is interesting for me, and also book is quite nicely printed, so quality is really good. Here on my first page I tested a lot of media. I used watercolors for the background and watercolors behaved really well. I was able to spread pigment over paper slowly without creating spots and dirty areas. I was able to layer watercolors. Then on top of watercolor here on the background where I wanted to add more color accents to emphasize shadows, I used my Mitsubishi Uno, which require more toothy paper usually, but on the layer of watercolors they were really helpful. Then on the flowers I used cheap pencils like Colors. On the bird I used polychromos, so each brand softer and harder. All pencils behaved here really well, and I'm glad with almost everything here. The bird, maybe I had to select slightly different color palette because of the brown colors on the feathers, brown colors on the wreath. It's slightly lost, so I had to use this very contrast white to outline her feathers to attract more attention here. But everything else, especially the bow and this jewelry beetle, I do love. My favorite element probably these flowers. I also did another picture here, but video will be ready in a day, so it will be in my November plans. Another book which I started and which I already own for more than 3 years probably, so it's quite an old book and it wasn't started by me. But then I received a request to color a wolf or a dog picture in the colors with a reference which I was sent, beautiful husky dog. And when I tried to select what I can color using this reference picture, I selected this one. I think that it was supposed to be a wolf, but I used those colors which I saw on the reference picture, a lot of beautiful golden brown colors and blue eyes. Husky dog was perfect. And I tried to find similar colors in polychromos set. The dog was made with polychromos and acrylic paint. Then I decided that if I love the start of this page so much, then I definitely have to finish it. I deliberately selected for the dress of the girl this bright orange-red color to attract attention, all the attention to the central part of the page. I didn't know which color to use for her hair and fur on her coat, so I tried to use more gray to create better contrast with the fur of the dog. And I think that they look not bad. For the rest of the page, I tried to select more muted colors. Even name of the pencils were gray blue, gray brown, gray green, when I colored this moss, stones, pine tree. And the background, it's not the best part of this page. I simply used gray blue and cold blue acrylic paints. There were excessive amount of black lines here on the background. Maybe they represented hills or mountains, but I decided that such a simplified background, not very interesting to look at, helps not to distract attention from the main characters. And most of all, I am happy that I finally started this book, because I do love style of Anne Stokes. I always try to save all her freebie pictures. I even thought about purchasing her second coloring book, but then I decided that at least I need to do something here. And in this book we have gorgeous pictures both for fall and for winter seasons. I do love this one, and I especially love this picture. Of course, it's better to use paint for the backgrounds because pictures, they were transformed from the full color paintings by Anne, sometimes from digital paintings, so the lines on the background sometimes are more quite excessive and I prefer to mask them with paint. But the main images, they are really very nice, and I hope that this first picture won't be my last. And finally, I started Jasmine Beckett Griffith Halloween. You know how much I love Jasmine Beckett Griffith. She's one of my favorite artists. I was crazy happy when I finally was able to purchase all her coloring books. But in Halloween I didn't color anything, and finally in October I realized that it's time. I have one big picture here which I started but haven't finished yet, so it will go in November video. And I decided to start from these smaller projects. I got a request from one of my viewers, from subscribers, to try Arteza pencils here. In the beginning I wasn't very sure if it would be something interesting, if it would be a success, because I know that Prismacolor is my favorite brand for this paper, and I absolutely love how Prismacolor behave on this paper. But Arteza, which I used here for my first project, also were not that bad. The only thing, they created some waxy shining, which in real life it's not a problem, but when you film under the electric light, this waxy shining from pencil, it was quite visible, but I simply deleted it with cotton pad, and now it looks quite nice. For the next projects I tried to use polychromos. Here I tried to use even Derwent color softs, because some of their colors, like cranberry, like blackberry, they are great for Halloween pictures. They have nice rich colors, or they have interesting gray lavender colors which I used on the lower part. I added several Prismacolor pencils, so here we have like a mixed picture. And finally I finished this one. Among the all four, this one, it was for me a little bit more creepy, so I wasn't sure if I want to do it or not, but in the end I decided that I need completely finished page. And I think that I managed to color it not that bad. I deliberately selected limited color palette with a lot of gold on her hair, on the eyes, on her wings. They are outlined with golden Posca. And then I made this addition of turquoise blue. I know that such shade of blue looks always good with brown and with gold, so her additional eye and the background, they have similar turquoise blue colors. So now the whole page is completed and I enjoyed it so much. I don't remember when was the last time, maybe in May I did my last project by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, because I started her mermaid books, and finally I started this one also, and it's great. I hope that my project which I started also will be finished successfully, and in November I will show you what I did. Then I was thinking about starting Wild Magic by Selina Fennick. You know that it's one of her last books, and you know that she published her new mermaid book just a couple of days ago. Very interesting. So I was thinking about Wild Magic because it has vampires, it has cemetery scenes and many dark pictures. But in the end I realized that I also missed my fairy tales book. It's one of the books which I plan to finish one day, and I already did a lot of pictures here. But during summer I did not very successful page here with Cymbeline. I was disappointed, I was discouraged that I somehow lost my ability to do pictures by Selina Fennick. And I also wanted to take a break from this paper, but now I realized that I am ready for the next fight. As my next project I selected Red Riding Hood, and surprisingly I colored it very easy and very quickly. Here I mixed various pencils again. I already realized that for myself on this thin paper it's easier to do background with slightly harder pencils. Anything harder like more than Prismacolors it's easier to use for the background. I used here Arteza, I used Starjoy. With these budget pencils I'm not bothered with covering the whole area with pencils. Then for the Red Riding Hood I selected quite intense red Arteza for her coat, and I decided to go for a very traditional color combo with this dark blue dress. I already know that I can't do any complicated shading on the skin, on the faces in this book. I tried a couple of times, and because of the paper with heavy shading, many layers on the skin, faces, unfortunately they look dirty. So instead I simply used a couple of pencils for the skin, and I concentrated more on the wolf, which is on the foreground. For the fur here I mostly used polychromos pencils for better layering, and I also added a little bit of paint where I wanted to mask hard outlining black lines. I do love that wolf is smiling, probably he just ate the grandmother, so he looks quite content. Anyway, I think that it's a nicely finished project, bright, just like I love, and in the style of a real children's book, which I prefer to use for this one. Another finished project and one step for finishing this book. As my next projects, I try to decide between Vasilisa the Wise, because I do love its Russian fairy tale and I really want to do it. But during winter time maybe it's better to do the Snow Queen. I have to think which page will be easier for me to select colors for. In the end of the month I realized that I need to do at least one true Halloween project with all elements of the Halloween. And I realized that I want to color on good paper. And that's where Klara Markova is perfect example. In the middle of the month I started with two smaller projects. Sorry, I will try to find them. I did pumpkin cake and I did these two small mushrooms. Nothing complicated here. I more tested some color combos, especially on the mushrooms. I didn't want to invent something for the background. I didn't know how to connect such unusual things like mushrooms and nice festive cakes, so I left them as they are. And in the end of the month I did the full page. Here we have quite calm Halloween night, nothing frightening. I do love that the bud is reading some cooking book, probably how to cook pumpkins. I tried to do pumpkins really bright. They are nicely depicted by Klara and I wanted to make them very bright. In the beginning I was thinking about using more masking for some of the black lines, but somehow in the books by Klara I'm not bothered by black lines. I don't want to transform it in painting without all those black lines, so I simply enjoyed working with polychromos on this paper. My biggest difficulty was how to color the bed without losing it. I selected quite dark colors for the sky, so the dark bud in front of the dark background wasn't very easy, but by adding some highlights with lilac and some highlights with a white pencil on top of the black, I think that I managed to do it. I really enjoyed doing all those mushrooms, all those leaves, so it was quite relaxing coloring. I'm not sure what about November would I manage to do something in Klara books, but for December I definitely have to do one of her gorgeous Christmas pictures in this book. In the beginning of October, I published video about my plans for October, for November. There I mentioned some pictures in Herculean Heart, in Selena Fanning book, so I thought that I was nicely prepared. But thanks to my subscribers who reminded me about this book, I realized that I totally forgot that I have just one page with the name of the month uncolored, and it was October. So in the middle of the month I finally decided which colors I want to use here. This page is extremely popular now. I think that each day on Instagram, on Facebook, I can see at least 2 or 3 new coloring pages. The book is popular, October was, so everyone colored this page. And I decided that instead of Prismacolors I will use polychromas, so at least for me it will be something to practice. How to do this berries, how to do apples with polychromos pencils, and I also decided to divide leaves into green and yellow, and at least in such way to make this page more colorful and to add this individual detail. I can say that I am fully happy with my apples. I would say that they lack some texture, maybe some dots and lines which we can see especially on the autumn apples, but berries and leaves, they are not so bad. And all months now are finished. In this book I have uncolored only small pictures like this one, another page with butterflies and dragonfly somewhere here, and a couple of abandoned pictures which I need to finish. Another small project, and this one is abandoned, I need to finish it. And then the whole flower year finally will be finished. I am very happy, not only because I did this October page, but because I do love what I got. This edition of the yellow leaves really helped me to feel that I did something individual, not something repeating the others' works. Now we will move to my 2 favorite pictures of October. The first one will be in Manuel de Bonnard. Let me adjust my camera here. In October I did very yummy page, but I lost my bookmark. Sorry guys. Here is my October project. I selected this a very detailed page because I think that it's perfect for fall season. A lot of things inside of this storage room for the bunnies. They have a lot of yummy things inside of the jars, inside of the bottles, and they have also some fresh fruits, vegetables, berries. Here it was quite nice to use Prismacolors. They are perfect for this paper. For these Japanese editions I tried to add darker colors along the edges and to use lighter colors closer to the center to create this impression of the frame. It was very funny to invent what they have inside of all those glass jars, what they have in store for the long winter season. And the most difficult part was which color to use for the dress of the bunny. Everything already was so colorful that when I started to select color for the bunny, I thought that I already used all the colors. But I think that this dark red helped me to attract attention to the mother bunny, and especially this blackberry jam. It also helped to attract more attention to this foreground. Anyway, even if I spent quite a long time on this page, I enjoyed every minute. I don't know about November plans in Kanoka Yuguza because they indeed require a lot of time, and I want to divide my November between uh, some more dark pictures. I still want to do dragons, vampires, and in the end of November, of course, I already want to move to Christmas pictures because in December you're always quite busy, you don't have enough time for coloring, so I'd better start my Christmas plans early in November. But in somewhere in December, maybe I will do one of the winter pictures by Kanoka. I am very happy how this turned out, and I think that it's one of my best works in October. Another time-consuming project was in a romantic country tale, second tale. I planned to do totally different page here with the witch and the girl visiting the witch, but then I looked closely at this spread. It's quite interesting by itself because you know that I love to color city scenes, I love to color various shops and markets. I also was very inspired by my previously finished spread with market. So I felt that I am able to do another spread. Then I realized that it also reminds me about Harry Potter, about Diagon Alley. And it was the final point when I decided to do this very long project. I think that I recorded 7 parts of this coloring, with each of the houses colored in its own color pattern, but with some repeating colors to unite them. You can see that several colors are repeated on the roofs or on some elements. Some buildings have quite unique color palettes and they have a lot of details. All these books, all these magical potions, all those jars, all those cute owls here or wizard wear, a lot of time. And on this paper you need to blend Prismacolors very thoroughly because they crumble, they create some dust, it's not very comfortable to color small details, so I had to outline some details with Posca pens. But in the end I do how everything worked in the end. I decided that the sky will be quite simple in this dark blue color, also quite simple pavement, this street, only with a reflection of the lights coming from inside of the shops, because in the middle everything is very detailed, so at least something is plain and easy. Well, I'm not sure about November coloring in a romantic country. I have to take a break from this paper. But in December, I think that I definitely will do something because in this book we have some quite cute Christmas pictures or winter pictures. Even if I still not enjoy this paper, I think that this book it's much more inspiring for me comparing to the first one. I much more love more compositions. I love details on these pictures. So definitely in December I will do another page here. And for now I am happy that I found enough patience in me to finish the whole spread in 1 month. Probably my favorite part is this cauldrons, and I also love this window shops with owls and with magic potions. And that was all about my October finished works. I have several started projects which I plan to finish during next few November days, and then as I said I plan to do several dragon vampire pictures, and I will be ready to move into full winter and Christmas mood. Thank you for watching, thank you for your support, and I hope that I will see you very soon.